In 2001, a Society member of Paranoid Times noted in his observations that the first wave of alien colonization and terraforming had begun. This video will go into further detail. In 2001, Alexander Zaitsev, chief scientist at Russia's Institute of Radio Engineering and Electronics, sent a series of interstellar radio transmissions called the TAM or the Teenage Message. The message's content and target stars were selected by a group of teens from 4 Russian cities, who collaborated in person and via the internet. Each transmission comprised 3 sections: a sounding, a live theremin concert, and digital data including images and text. TAM was humanity's 4th active SETI broadcast and the first musical interstellar radio message. The 3 elements of each transmission were a coherent sounding signal with slow Doppler wavelength tuning to imitate transmission from the Sun's center. This signal was transmitted in order to help extraterrestrials detect the TAM and diagnose the radio propagation effect of the interstellar medium. Please keep this in mind for later in the video. An analog information recorded on the theremin. This electric musical instrument produces a quasi-sinusoidal signal which is easily extracted from background noise. There were 7 musical compositions in the first theremin concert for extraterrestrials. Binary digital information similar to the Arecibo message, including the logotype of TAM, written greetings in Russian and English, and artistic drawings. This section and the concert program were composed by teens from different parts of Russia. This transmission consisted of 6 different transmissions. Most of the transmissions happened in September. Our observer at the Society noted that he was in contact with a one Raymond Cook. He had been commissioned by the Government of India to study the red rain in Kerala. That fell between September 2001 and 2012. A red rain which caused fear and panic in 4 different areas in the country, namely, Manaragala, Pulanarawa, Swanagala and Manampataya, leaving red frost in the latter 2 districts, continue to baffle local scientists still studying samples of the freak showers. Similar showers of blood rain were experienced in Kerala, South India during 2 consecutive months from July to September this year, spawning several scientific and non-scientific theories with regarding to its origin. So from where exactly does this mysterious rain originate? Is it from the earth whose natural elements we are familiar with having growing in these environments since the day we were born? Or from some extraterrestrial origins we are completely alien to? Was Sri Lanka's best-known expatriate resident, Sir Arthur C. Clarke, was correct when he said that alien life existed, wishing that he would live to see proof of this before his death? Are we at the brink of a close encounter with aliens, which has coincided with many other strange happenings occurring both here and in other parts of the world? For example, the mysterious allergies in school children, the cause of which scientists are still trying to work out. Meanwhile, scientists studying samples of the red water at the Medical Research Institute and other institutes such as the Industrial Technological Institute and universities told the nation that they have yet to come to a definite conclusion, although not ruling out algae as a possible cause. While Health Ministry officials claim that the microorganisms contained in the red rain is Trichomonas, Medical Research Institute, MRI, microbiologist Dr. Sujatha Pathiraj said that the microorganisms are usually found in contaminated water. This is a very rare and unusual occurrence, as we have never experienced red rain in this country before. But whatever microorganisms we have been looking at, appear to be living natural organisms usually found in contaminated water, which we can't see or relate to the red rain, said Dr. Pathiraj. No definite conclusion has been reached by scientists studying the red rain samples in neighboring Kerala, either. Kerala scientists have 2 theories which we share: that the red rain has been caused by algae from the ocean or from an asteroid from outer space, she told this writer in a telephone interview. The report that we have starts out like this. From July 25 through September 23, 2001, red rain sporadically fell on the southern Indian state of Kerala. Heavy downpours occurred in which the rain was colored red, staining clothes with an appearance similar to that of blood. Yellow, green, and black rain was also reported. Colored rain had been reported in Kerala in as early as 1896 and several times since then. It was initially announced that the rains were colored by fallout from a hypothetical meteor burst, but a study commissioned by the Government of India found that the rains had been colored by airborne spores from a locally prolific terrestrial alga. Other explanations were proposed, but not until early 2006 did the colored rains of Kerala gain widespread attention in the popular media. A controversial conjecture that the colored particles were extraterrestrial cells was proposed by Godfrey Lewis and Santosh Kumar of the Mahatma Gandhi University in Kottayam. For years, claims circulated that red rain which fell in India in 2001, contained cells unlike any found on Earth. Newer evidence that these cells can reproduce was published by MIT in the Technology Review. While this is certainly not a mainstream idea in science, a growing body of evidence suggests that it should be carefully studied rather than casually disregarded. For example, various bugs have been shown to survive for months or even years in the harsh conditions of space. And one of the more interesting but lesser-known facts about the Mars meteorite that some scientists believe holds evidence of life on Mars, is that its interior never rose above 50 degrees centigrade, despite being blasted from the Martian surface by a meteor impact and surviving a fiery descent through Earth's thick atmosphere. If there is life up there, this evidence suggests that it could survive the trip to Earth. All that seems well established. Now for the really controversial stuff. In 2001, numerous people observed red rain falling over Kerala in the southern tip of India during a 2-month period. One of them was Godfrey Lewis, a physicist at nearby Cochin University of Science and Technology. Intrigued by this phenomena, Lewis collected numerous samples of red rain, determined to find out what was causing the contamination, perhaps sand or dust from some distant desert. Under a microscope, however, he found no evidence of sand or dust. Instead, the rainwater was filled with red cells that look remarkably like conventional bugs on Earth. What was strange was that Lewis found no evidence of DNA in these cells, which would rule out most kinds of known biological cells. Red blood cells are one possibility but ought to be destroyed quickly by rainwater. Lewis published his results in the peer-reviewed journal Astrophysics and Space in 2006, along with the tentative suggestion that the cells could be extraterrestrial, perhaps from a comet that had disintegrated in the upper atmosphere and then seeded clouds as the cells floated down to Earth. In fact, Lewis says there were reports in the region of a sonic boom-type noise at the time, which could have been caused by the disintegration of an object in the upper atmosphere. Since then, Lewis has continued to study the cells with an international team including Chandra Wickramasinghe from the University of Cardiff in the UK and one of the leading proponents of the panspermia theory, which he developed in the latter half of the 20th century with the remarkable physicist Fred Hoyle. Lewis, Wickramasinghe, and others published some extraordinary claims about these red cells. They say that the cells clearly reproduce at a temperature of 121 degrees C. Under these conditions, daughter cells appear within the original mother cells and the number of cells in the samples increases with length of exposure to 121 degrees C, they say. By contrast, the cells are inert at room temperature. That makes them highly unusual, to say the least. The spores of some extremophiles can survive these kinds of temperatures and then reproduce at lower temperatures, but nothing behaves like this at these temperatures, as far as we know. This is an extraordinary claim that will need to be independently verified before it will be more broadly accepted. And of course, this behavior does not suggest an extraterrestrial origin for these cells, by any means. However, Wickramasinghe and company can't resist hinting at such an exotic explanation. They've examined the way these fluoresce when bombarded with light and say it is remarkably similar to various unexplained emission spectra seen in various parts of the galaxy. One such place is the Red Rectangle, a cloud of dust and gas around a young star in the Monoceros constellation. It would be fair to say that more evidence will be required before Kerala's red rain can be satisfactorily explained. In the meantime, it looks a fascinating mystery. Wickramasinghe and Hoyle have also used their data to argue in favor of intelligent design, and propose that the first life on Earth began in space, spreading through the universe via panspermia, and that evolution on Earth is influenced by a steady influx of viruses arriving via comets. In their 2010 paper they concluded, once again the universe gives the appearance of being biologically constructed, and on this occasion on a truly vast scale. Once again those who consider such thoughts to be too outlandish to be taken seriously will continue to do so, while we ourselves shall continue to take the view that those who believe they can match the complexities of the universe by simple experiments in their laboratories will continue to be disappointed. Shortly after people were backtracking and cover-up began, Cook experimented with the tiny red cells, and injected them into live mice. At first there was nothing, and then the mice went to sleep, and this is when it happened. He noted in his notes that once the mice have awakened, their personalities have changed, and they had become smarter, and had escaped 2 days later. Cook tried to recreate the experiments with 2 monkeys. He could not recreate the change in the monkeys. Discouraged, he contacted the society, and we provided him with the information on the transmissions. We thought that the radio signal may trigger the change, like a light switch. Cook tried this, and after trial and error he found what he was looking for, and the monkeys changed in their sleep, but not like the mice. This was much worse, he noted. Their bodies morphed and changed shape. There was sounds of pain from the monkeys. Cook at some point had to shoot both monkeys, and decided to stop his studies on the red rain. We now worry, this red rain is in everything: food, water and people. All over the world. Could there be a night when the people of the world goes to sleep and wakes as another? Could this be the first wave? Stay paranoid, my friends. I hope to see you tomorrow.